All right, we got a Fox News alert. The border czarina is finally going to the border. Wait, last block it was the Zelensky stunt. And now, being 10 points down on Donald Trump on the immigration issue, Kamala Harris has a border stunt. Yeah, that's right. 3 years after her last visit, border czar Kamala Harris is finally getting to work. Reportedly, she's heading there on Friday. But don't take it's just a political ploy. It's desperate. She wants to appear tough on one of the biggest crises facing our country that she's getting hammered on in the polls. But this is what her border policy actually looks like.
Salvadorian national Elmer Sola unlawfully entered the United States and now stands accused of what ICE officials called horrific and despicable crimes, including indecent assault and battery on a child under 14. ICE arrested 28-year-old Brian Daniel Aldana Arevalo after arraignment on child rape charges. And Boston agents also had a busy month there on the island, arresting a Brazilian man who re-entered the United States illegally, charged with indecent assault and battery.
Yeah, Kamala's border carnage. That's just on Nantucket, by the way. We're also seeing Kamala's border policy in effect in St. Louis, where Officer David Lee was mowed down allegedly by a drunk illegal alien.
David was amazing. David was humble. David didn't judge people. David loved people for who they were. David embraced all of us. Like, David was all of our protectors, all of us.
And we're seeing her policy right along the border itself. Texas DPS troopers arrested 15 illegals for criminal trespass this week. And after screening them, they discovered, well, one may have terror ties, but why is that a big deal? Joining me now, Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. Dan, a Harris campaign advisor, is telling Fox that her positions have been shaped by 3 years of effective governance as part of the Biden-Harris administration. Dan, from your perspective as Lieutenant Governor of our biggest border state, what does effective governance look like in Texas?
Well, if their goal was to have terrorists and criminals and just millions of people coming into our country illegally and giving them a pass and not knowing where they're going or who they are or what crimes they're committing, then they've been very effective because they're undermining our country. You know, Laura, one of the things that's never talked about in these, and I know you've talked about it, but I want your audience to really get their arms around this. We have about 300,000 children who have come here illegally, and Kamala Harris does not know where they are. And we can tell you where we sadly think many of them are. And that is that they're being forced to have sex 5, 6, 7 times a day as children or teenagers or young women because they're put into the sex trade industry. How can you possibly allow hundreds of thousands of children to cross the border and lose track of them, and knowing that you turn them over to someone that you don't know if they're a family member? And that's what's happened. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are responsible for a sex child trade in this country tonight. And it makes me sick to my stomach to think what some of these children are enduring that are being sex trafficked in this country. And Kamala Harris doesn't care a damn about these children. She says she cares. President Trump cared about them. He put a stop to it. He would not have let this happen. This is outrageous. And people thinking about who they're voting for, you have complicit a President Joe Biden and Kamala Harris running for president who purposely and knowingly know that children are being sex trafficked in this country. Thousands and thousands.
Yeah, and Dan, they always try to corner the market on compassion, and it was all about the separating the families. I read somewhere, like someone's comment was, at least the kids were alive when they were separated. You know, who knows where the poor children are in this case. But Dan, I want to get back to this, and I'm calling it the border stunt because that's what this trip is.
Yes.
Has she invited you or Governor Abbott to join her on this trip on Friday?
Of course not. And she's never really been to the border in Texas. I mean, she came to El Paso and was blocks away from the actual border. Look, she is conning the American people. She hasn't changed her position at all. I mean, she says she hasn't changed her values, and her values were to get rid of ICE. Her values were to decriminalize people crossing the border illegally. I'm just stunned that there's one American who cares about this country that would even think about voting for her. I know they're the solid Democrat base out there, but for anyone who's an independent, anyone who's an open mind thinking about what's going on in this country, We've been invaded, Laura, and now they acknowledge it's 20 million people. The numbers I've been saying for years, 20 million people are in this country illegally.
Well, that's the goal.
And those terrorists, that's the goal. That's what they wanted. That's effective.
Yeah.
That's how they call effective.
Well, they've said repeatedly that America is an awful, rotten, racist place, systemically racist. That if it's systemically racist, then the whole thing has to be changed, completely overturned and changed. And that's what, obviously, this policy is designed to do. But
that's
CNN
her effectiveness, she thinks.
Yeah, CNN is trying to cover for Kamala Harris and why maybe this border hasn't been her sole focus. Watch.
One of the things about this moment, I mean, the Harris campaign has just been trying to kind of float above it all, to float above the immigration arguments, float above, some of the nitty-gritty details on some of this policy. But this shows that they realize they have to do something.
Dan, float above. They thought they could float above, I guess, from their vacation homes.
Yeah. You know, Laura, after 9/11, we always read the list of those killed to memorialize that. Let me tell you something. If we got a list of all the people who have been killed by drunk drivers, by gangs, women raped, killed on jogging trails, children sex trafficking, we'd have a long list of people who have been killed during the Kamala Harris Biden administration over nearly now 4 years who have crossed this border. And let me tell you what, not only are these dangerous gang members in our country, terrorist upon terrorist have crossed our border. We know it. They're just waiting to strike. They have sold out our country.
Well, they knew what they were doing. This is their policy. An open border is the policy, and what's happened is their goal. So everybody has to remember that as they go to vote for this in this presidential election. Lieutenant Governor, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it as always.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.